Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Sparkle. It is so nice to meet both of you. Thank you for making the time to come and talk about Diamond's education with me this evening. She is such a hardworking student, and I'm really glad to have her in my class this year. I particularly enjoy getting to watch her be in her element when she gets to work with her table group. She is such a natural at teamwork, and she always keeps her group on track. But tonight I'd like to talk to you about her literacy in particular. So I've conducted several reading and writing assessments with her, and I'd like to share some of the data that I've collected with both of you. Now, one of the first things I did with Diamond is called a Berg reading interview. So a Berg reading interview is just a set of questions that helps me get insight about how students feel about reading and how they see themselves as readers. So when I went through the questions with Diamond, my goal was just to get to know her as a reader and to learn about the strategy she uses when reading, especially when she comes across a word she may not be familiar with. I also did several running records with Diamond. For these assessments, I would select a text that I felt was appropriate for Diamond, and I would have her read it to me. And as she read, I would record the data about her accuracy, her ability to correct mistakes, and the different cues she used to read new words. I find the running records helpful for readers of all levels because they let me know what books children can read independently, what I can work on with them, and when students are ready to move up in text difficulty. Each time I did one of these running records with Diamond, I also did an assessment of her retelling ability. Now, for these assessments, I would simply ask her to tell me about the beginning, middle, and end of the book she had read. Having her retell this story to me helps me make sure she's absorbing the text she reads, and it serves as a really good check for overall comprehension. Now, beyond reading assessments, I also assessed Diamond's writing skills. I analyzed a sample of her narrative writing and a sample of her opinion writing. For the narrative writing assessment, I made notes about Diamond's ability to organize events and use signal words such as first, next, and last for sequencing. I also checked to see if she was effectively incorporating details in her writing. For the opinion writing, I focused on Diamond's ability to state her opinion and back it up with 3 supporting reasons. Studying the writing samples helped me check Diamond's strengths and needs for the different styles of writing, and I also used them to find patterns of her overall writing ability. Another assessment I enjoyed doing with Diamond was the primary spelling inventory. Now, for this assessment, I asked Diamond to spell 26 different words for me. Using her spellings of each word, I was able to track patterns for the degree to which Diamond understands different spelling rules, and phonics, and just overall different word parts. It's a helpful assessment to do because it showed me exactly which things we need to work on as far as pronunciation and reading go. The final literacy assessment I did with Diamond is called a names test. We had a good time with this one. She got to pretend to be a teacher reading a class roll, taking attendance, while I made notes about her pronunciation. This was an important assessment because it let me check her phonemic awareness, something that is really essential when children are learning to sound out challenging words. It was also helpful because I was able to use the data collected from the spelling inventory to draw connections between Diamond's interactions with different phoneme types across multiple contexts with both the spelling and the pronunciation. I would like to talk to you a bit about some of the strengths that really stood out to me about Diamond, some of the things she really did well on, and what we can do to really build these up together. So, one important strength. On October 26th, I did one of the running records and the retelling record, and this was on the book The Hungry Giant's Lunch. In the retelling assessment, Diamond demonstrated a remarkable skill for comprehending implicit details. She not only remembered the entirety of the plot of the book, but she also remembered small details that were not even stated in the text. She needed no assistance in retelling her book that day, and she met all the criteria for accurately retelling the beginning, middle, and end of the story. So, Diamond demonstrated a clear comprehension of those unwritten details, and to expand even further on Diamond's skill for picking up on that unsaid meaning in text, there are a couple things we can do. At home, we can work on helping Diamond make connections between books in her own life. So these are called text-to-self connections, and these are really important because these make the reading personal. Um, a story event or a character might remind Diamond of something in her own life, and making these connections can really help comprehension because readers personalize their reading by relating what they're reading to their background knowledge. And so when you read with her at home, that's something you can really focus on, is just tying, I mean, you know her better than me, of course, so it's just tying her personal life and her experiences and your experiences as a family to the books that you read with her. At school, I'm going to focus on building her natural skill for catching those implicit details within text. So this is the strength of drawing inferences, and it is important in advancing the depth of thinking behind comprehension. So I plan to help Diamond further develop this skill by teaching her a four-step system for drawing inferences from text. The steps are 1, to activate background knowledge, 2, to look for clues, 3, to ask questions, and 4, to reach conclusions. And I'll work with her in it's going to be a 4-quadrant connection chart. And we'll fill those out, and I'll ask her plenty of questions, and as we do that, I I hope that it will help her to really nourish that talent for catching on to the things that are implied by the words that she picks up from the connection in between illustrations and words, things like that. So another special strength that I noticed from her was on November 5th when Diamond was reading the book Vroom aloud for me. I was able to calculate Diamond's accuracy rate through my running record notes. So her accuracy rate was 95.5%, which is spectacular. And in this reading, she made no errors regarding the meaning of words. So any errors that she did make, they've still made semantic sense within the context of the sentence she was reading. So she has a very good grasp on which words make sense coming up on something she might not know, so she's able to kind of make an educated guess. If a word looks like it might be something, she's able to say, well, would that make sense in this sentence? And then she's really able to assess that meaning, and that's how she avoids making those errors. So I'd like to work on this with you both. At home, I think it'd be very useful to immerse Diamond in new words through listening, talking, reading, and writing. And I think that building her vocabulary would really help her. I mean, knowing more words would really build on this skill of using the probable meaning of upcoming words to decode unfamiliar words, just since she's already so good at that. So you can do this by speaking to her using an advanced vocabulary and then defining new words very clearly for her when she needs it, and providing books that will engage her in learning new words. So books that have more challenging vocabulary or more words that she doesn't know. At school, I'm going to focus on doing word study activities with Diamond to help her interact with new vocabulary on a deeper level. So one thing I plan to do with her is to make word maps. And in this activity, children create a diagram to examine a word they're learning. They write the word, they make a box around it, and they draw several lines from the box, adding information about the word in the boxes they make at the end of each line. I know that if we strengthen Diamond's vocabulary, we can further expand her use of word meaning to assess a word's place in a sentence. And then the third strength that I want to talk to you about is she works very well with consonant blend sounds. So in the primary spelling inventory that I administered on November 6th, Diamond showed a strong understanding of consonant blends. This is a category of phoneme that is often difficult for children at this developmental level. She could correctly use words starting with blends like SL, ST, DR, and similar spellings without any help. On this assessment, Diamond got 36 out of 56 word feature points, and 10 out of 26 words correct overall. Of those 36 feature points, Diamond earned 6 of the 7 possible for consonant blends. I'd like to build on this by working together with you. So at home, I think that you can foster this understanding of the consonant blend, those consonant blend sounds, by helping her really see that pattern with not just the words that she might recognize that have 4 or 5 letters that we work with more at school, but even more complicated, bigger words. So um, you can read books, and in these books you can challenge Diamond to locate other words exemplifying the spelling pattern of consonant blends. This will expand Diamond's existing skill at decoding consonant blends because you can give her increasingly difficult words that still have that same spelling pattern, and she'll be able to recognize that pattern. At school, I plan to help Diamond use her knowledge of consonant blends to decode words like the more difficult ones you'll be working with at home through analogy. So, decoding through analogy is a strategy that refers to a student applying their knowledge of phonograms, such as various consonant blends, to analyze the structure of an unfamiliar word. It's when they use those known words to recognize unfamiliar ones. Now, this will be really useful to her as she goes from being a beginning reader to a more experienced one. So there are also areas of need that I'm working on with Diamond, but I'd like to just focus on a few with you. Just focus on a couple specific ones. So when I was analyzing Diamond's opinion piece that she wrote for me on November 6th, she clearly stated her opinion topic, her opinion statement, but she did not list any reasons to support her opinion, which is a standard for second grade. She missed the criteria for supplying reasons to support her opinion and the criteria for creating an organizational structure that lists those reasons. We need to work on supporting statements and opinions with explicitly expressed reasons. At home, I think it'd be useful if you were to write a few informal opinion pieces with Diamond just for fun or as a learning at home activity, and get her to focus on the purpose of the writing. So when they focus on the purpose of the writing, it influences decisions that the children make about form. So if Diamond focuses on the purpose of her writing, which is to persuade, I believe that that will help her know that she needs to put in those supporting reasons, and it'll be a natural reminder. At school, I'll work with Diamond on the organization of her writing by giving her different graphic organizers that remind her to provide supporting reasons for her opinion statements, just with blanks and different like prompts. And I will also conference with her. Another need that I've seen in Diamond's literacy is she has demonstrated a need to work on long vowel sounds. In the spelling inventory that we talked about earlier, on which she got 36 out of those 56 word feature points and spelled 10 out of 16 words correctly, she got 2 out of the 7 possible feature points for long vowels. She's done very well with short vowels and vowel digraphs, but we do need to work on those long vowel sounds. So a great way to work on those at home would be to sort objects, pictures, and word cards according to that long vowel phonics concept. I can provide you with some word cards to work with if that would be helpful. I would really appreciate it if we could work together on this. It would be awesome to just have her sort one-syllable words, that's what the word cards would be, into piles of short vowel or long vowel sounds. And then you could discuss in the long vowel pile for one-syllable words, that would be a consonant vowel consonant E pattern, the CVCE pattern. And seeing that in this kind of word always results in a long vowel sound can be really helpful for her just understanding that concept. And at school, I'll work on this during phonics instruction we're going to work with magnetic letters or letter cards to spell words, and when we do CVCE words, I'll have them leave the silent E on there, so she'll be able to see that as a constant for changing that vowel, that other vowel in the word, to a long vowel. This will help her with her reading, writing, and spelling. So, yeah, I'm really excited to keep you both updated on my work with Diamond. I look forward to expanding her strengths of implicit detail comprehension, using meaning cues and decoding words, and of reading and writing consonant blends. I will work diligently to meet her needs for supplying organized reasons to support opinion statements and in the reading, writing, and spelling of words containing long vowel sounds. Thank you so much for coming today to talk about Diamond's literacy with me and for being willing to make goals for home as well as for school. Now let me know if you have any other concerns at all about Diamond's reading or anything else in school, or if you need any help from me. Have a great night. I look forward to meeting with you both again in the spring and discussing the progress.